This is episode 1 of the Traveling Husbands. On today's episode, it is taking another look at our Journey series, where Aiden and I stayed at the Luxor Resort and Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome to episode 1. Traveling Husbands are as we continue the Journey series, and we are on our 15th time recording this thing. So Aiden, welcome back.
Thank you. It's been rough, but we're gonna get there.
So we are, if you follow us on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and all those things, we're the Traveling Husbands with a Z, don't forget. And we're just trying out the podcast thing. We don't know if we're going to do one of these every single week, but we certainly are going to do just this little mini-series, which we are calling The Journey. And it's where Aiden and I talk about the places that we have visited. As of recently, and this one in particular, we're going to talk about Vegas. Mm-hmm. So, Aiden, you excited to talk about Vegas with me today?
Yeah, it was a great trip. Lots of fun memories. And
what was your favorite memory?
I don't know if I can
was
say
it me
that.
being there?
It was definitely you being there.
Okay, thank you.
Panda Express.
Panda Express, yeah.
Was my favorite memory.
How about the flight?
The flight, the flight was okay. My wife was very, very scared, so she made it a little, I love her. So she did great for her fear of flying, and it was good.
All right, good. That's all what we can say about that. For those of you who don't know, Aiden and I, we were out in Vegas recently. We stayed at the Luxor, and this was Aiden's first time in Vegas. I don't remember I think it was like my 4th or 5th time out there. I'm not 100% sure. But Aiden, tell me about your first time in Vegas. What was you get off the plane, we're there. You're in the airport. What are your thoughts about Vegas from the airport till the time we got to the hotel? Which, I don't know if I mentioned it yet, we're going to be talking about Luxor.
Yeah, so got off the plane, had to use the bathroom because it was very early in the morning when we had our flight, so then we had to change because it just kind of felt like I needed to change, right? And we went down the escalators, those famous escalators that have that sign, "Welcome to Vegas," and I was like, oh, crap, I'm really here. And got on a Uber, maybe a Lyft, one of those two.
Yep.
Went to our hotel, Luxor. It was great. It just looks like a big pyramid. I like the theme inside and outside. The desk seemed very crowded because it was a Friday or maybe a Saturday. It was a weekend.
Yeah.
So a lot of people checking in for the weekend, getting ready to do Vegas. I had pre-checked in, which I don't recommend because it was not a smooth ride because we have comp stays that we got, so it was a little hard for the receptionist to find my reservation and get it all set up and everything. But
so can we pause there?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the comp stays. So a lot of people don't know that Vegas is cheap when you book it. When you get out there, you get hit with all these resort fees, and then you realize that a lot of things on the Strip are expensive. Like, I always tell people when they're going to Vegas, and I think I told you this before we went on our trip, it's only like $70 to book this thing for a few days in Vegas, but Vegas is going to get their money. Whether you're going to give it to them in the slots, they're going to give it to them out on the Strip through meals. So what I told you, and what I think is really important for people that are going to travel out to Vegas, is you've got to find comps. And one of the ways that we did that, and one thing that I highly recommend anybody that's going to go out to Vegas, you got to play the My Vegas experience.
I would agree. My Vegas, it's just games that you download to your phone. You play. It's free to download. It's free to play.
Right out of the App Store.
Yes, App Store. I don't know about Androids. We're iPhone users, so. But you download it. You play. I would say play before you get there, not like a week or so before, but with plenty of time to get rewards. And
yeah, you can't start playing My Vegas 2 days before you leave.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, that's really important. So just talking about some of the comps we got from My Vegas. Well, first off, let me tell you this: when you play My Vegas, or you're asking yourself, well, how do I redeem this? You can redeem it right through the app. You can go out to Vegas, you find the M Life desk. They are at pretty much every resort. I believe specifically just for MGM resorts.
Yes.
So that's MGM, New York, Excalibur. All of those is where you can find that. Yeah, so just go right to the M Life desk, tell them who you are. Or what you can do is print the comps through your email. They'll email you the comp, print that little sheet out, and that is valid whether you're comping a room, whether you're comping a buffet, or whether you're comping an experience out there, like doing a roller coaster that's at New York, or you're going to go do the underwater adventure at Mandalay Bay. All those things are through My Vegas. Just print that sheet, bring that right to wherever you're going, or go get your M Life card at the M Life desk, give them the piece of paper with your comp. There you go, you're comped.
Pretty easy, pretty simple, just like you said it. Nothing to it. Sounds very fake, but it's not. It's very real. We went out there.
You were kind of questioning if it was real.
Yeah, I was. Because you don't expect to just play a game for free and then get real life rewards out of it. So I was definitely very like, this isn't real. But it is. We got our free stays, and all we had to pay was just the resort fees, which were
Sure.
$30 max.
Yeah, it was definitely anywhere you can get comps in Vegas is a good thing. So let's talk about specifically Luxor. Did we talk about the room yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, so tell me about what your thoughts were on the room.
Room.
Compared to what you saw on Booking.com and wherever we looked to book this thing.
Yeah, so pictures, very deceiving. Because the pictures show like because Luxor has their regular rooms inside the pyramid, but they also have two different towers those are the like very new renovated rooms.
Right.
And those are the ones that they advertise more. So that's kind of what I was hoping for. But when we got there, it just kind of seemed like a plain old room. And Vegas is a very smoke. They smoke a lot in Vegas, so the rooms were kind of. I wouldn't say they smelled like smoke, but I would not want to stay in those rooms again. I would probably pay just a little bit more to stay in the fancier rooms, but not my favorite room.
Yeah, and I agree. Miranda and I, and you took your wife Julianne, and we stayed in Luxor. We were there for only a few days. If I'm just comparing Luxor, and I don't want to downplay Luxor, and I know your experience has been Luxor, but I've stayed at Excalibur and MGM and some of those other ones around the Strip, and I put Luxor right in the middle, but certainly not at the top. They have some room for some growth there, but rooms weren't horrible, but they weren't the greatest either. So that's the rooms. Let's talk, and I don't know if we've talked about this yet, the food. What was your thoughts on food out in Vegas? Just where we ate, prices, what were your thoughts? Besides Panda Express.
So my favorite thing is Panda Express, but a lot of food options, different kind of things that you like, whether you're in for fancy feast or just something cheap to eat. We didn't get to try, was it Fast Burger? I don't know.
In-N-Out Burger.
In-N-Out, yeah. We didn't get to try that, which I think you were very, very upset about that. But we'll go back out there one day and then we'll get you that burger. But I don't know. Use the comps, dude. We ate at a buffet that was worth $50 at least.
Per person.
Yeah, per person, not like cover or anything.
And I have a if you follow us on YouTube, obviously you know that I have a baby on the way. But at the time, and for anybody really, you family of four, that ain't a cheap buffet.
Yeah, no, $50. You can use that on the slots. I'm a gambler, so
there you go. Put it in the slots.
I was there for the gambling more than anything, but food was okay. Not some restaurants not worth the price, like that Mexican restaurant we went to. I don't know. It was in.
That was in New York.
Yeah,
and I can't think of the name of it, but yeah, it's the thing is just always remember Vegas is going to get their money,
yes.
And whether you're going to spend it on food on the Strip or you're going to put it in the casino, they're going to get it from you. So awesome. So let's kind of just chat real quick some of the things we did while we were there. So we did the Titanic Museum that was in Luxor. Highly recommend it. It doesn't always, and that's one thing I always tell people. It doesn't always have to be gambling. Like there's so much more, and drinking. You know, I'm not a drinker. I know you like your cocktails, but I'm not a drinker.
Sometimes I wouldn't say I'm an alcoholic.
No.
A social drinker, I would
social,
say.
social drinker, but
I socialize a lot.
right. Yeah, but for me, you know, I don't ever drink alcohol.
Yeah.
So people always ask me about, you know, as it relates to not drinking alcohol, like, well, why do you do Vegas? Or, there's so much to do in Vegas. I'm not telling you to be that person that's out in Vegas right now that has their kids there, because we've seen that too.
Yes.
And I'm not recommending you to bring your kids there, but there are a lot of things to do that, whether it's a show or it's going to do the Titanic or any of that kind of stuff, you know, exhibit that we did, that all exists, and you can go do those things, and you're going to get the Vegas experience without the hangover. So that's always an option. But so let's just talk about what we did. So we did the Titanic exhibit in Luxor. It's right in the lobby. Highly recommend it. What were your thoughts there?
I like museums, so it's very interesting for me. Not only the fact that they just kind of had all the stuff set up the way that, you know, the actual ship was, but they actually had, you know, part of the actual ship there, which was very, very cool.
That's kind of how they ended there.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed it, you know, learning more about it than what, like, you know, the movie shows or whatever the case may be. But I would recommend it. It was worth the price.
What else did we do while we were there? I'm trying to remember. We did the Titanic. I know we went to downtown Vegas, kind of experienced that. We were only there for like 72 hours, so it wasn't very long that we were there. But we went downtown and did the Fremont experience, which I do recommend. But all my local Vegas friends always tell me about Fremont. Get out of there. Don't stay. You know, go down there, experience it. You have to experience Fremont Street. But if you're the last person on the street at 2 a.m, you need to get out of there.
I liked Fremont. I would say that was one of my favorite parts. It was very old school. You know, the street shows. It was very interesting. I almost got roped into one, but I snuck away.
Yeah, we ate at a place down there, and I'm just, you know, and they always say prices are cheaper down on the old Vegas Fremont Street, and I'll tell you, we ate, and I can't remember the name of the restaurant right now, but I know we ate down there. That night we went there, and it was steak and lobster for like $11.
Yes.
And it wasn't like the cheap stuff you see in the...
It's like real steak and lobster.
Yeah.
Like not a flimsy steak. It was like a real steak. And I'm not a seafood eater. I think I had like chicken fingers or something, but it was still good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely. And it's cheaper down there. That's another thing you can do if you're trying to escape some of those Vegas prices. Old Vegas definitely has it. You know, so what else did we do while we were there that we can give people some advice on just for experiences? You know, we
did a lot of walking.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I always I kind of forgot about that. You know, we did walk the Strip, did the Fat Tuesday Cup thing.
Yeah.
You know, that everybody always
the wives
does.
Did the Fat Tuesday.
The wives, the wives,
I think it's just
Vegas
fun.
is a lot of walking.
Yeah.
Walking. I'm trying to be like I want people to go there and experience it, but I don't want them to be like, well, wait, I got to walk the whole. You do have to walk. It is a lot of walking, especially on the newer Strip.
Yes, and with walking, there's a lot of transportation to take you back in case you do get tired. Because I think at one point we had to Uber our way back because we were very, very far down the Strip.
And Uber's everywhere.
Yes, everywhere. They're fast. You'll order it and then they're already there.
The one thing I always try to warn people about with Uber is beware that the taxis who are paid by the resorts don't always appreciate Uber, so your pickup spot might not be where you think it is.
Right. It was hard I don't remember which hotel we were at, but we were walking around in circles. We were trying to find the pickup spot. We couldn't find it. Eventually, somebody pointed us the right way, and
the wives were losing their patience.
Yes, quick to do that. But overall, fun experience. I think there's a lot to do besides just gambling. Lots of shows to see, and not even just in Vegas itself. There's lots of other things like the canyon. You can do a lot of different tours outside of just the actual city.
Right. The Grand Canyon and all that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a lot of experiences there. So definitely a lot to experience out there, and then just people watch. I mean, just people watch when you're in Vegas. There's so much entertainment just to look at people, and
So fun.
I'm not going to ruin the surprise for you, but you'll see what I'm talking about when you get out there. So moving on. Specifically about, I have a feeling we're going to go back to Vegas at some point, but specifically about Luxor, would you go back?
For Luxor, I think I would go back. I think that was my favorite casino, one. Two, the rooms were okay for the price. Like I said, I think I would pay a little bit more to stay in the nicer rooms. I think it was at a good location. It was close to like the airport. And then walking distance to everything else was very nice. It was connected to, I think there's a couple hotels that are connected with each other, so that was very fun. We went, I think, in February, so it was nice to kind of just walk in the inside instead of outside. It's not that cold, but we're from Wisconsin, so we're kind of used to it, but when we pack shorts and just a sweater, it's a little helpful.
And be careful that desert out in Vegas at night does get cold.
Yes.
So always plan for that too. Don't go out there in the middle of July. It is way too hot. You will regret that decision immediately after getting off the plane. It's not humid like Florida, but it certainly is very warm.
Very hot, right? Like 100 and in the hundreds.
Yeah, it's very warm.
It has to be in the hundreds.
Yeah, definitely warm. So for me, experiencing Vegas multiple times, I told you earlier that I would put Luxor right there in the middle.
What was your favorite hotel
That I've ever stayed
that
at?
you've ever stayed at?
Oh, I would have to say, I would tell you that probably New York.
Yeah.
I just think like it's totally immersive when you walk in. From the time you walk through that resort door, all the way to the rooms, just everything about it was absolutely amazing. But that's for another episode. But this is just our little mini series. I wish we could talk more about Luxor. We were only there for just a couple of days. I will tell you this funny story about Luxor. We had somebody in our group lose their phone.
Oh, God.
And I'll tell you, where were we? We were not at Luxor.
We were not at Luxor.
We were at MGM.
Yes.
And I'll tell you that MGM staff, they do try to help you. They don't just leave you out there to dry. They will try to help you, and they made us even fill out a little piece of paper, and I think they were willing to look on camera, and it was, but
Don't
note
put
to
your
self.
phone down for any reason.
When you're in Vegas, do not leave your phone anywhere.
Yes, anything. Don't. Phone, keys, wallet, anything. Just don't.
Yep. Vegas does have criminals that purposely go through the casinos and try to find somebody who will leave their purse open or leave their phone sitting at a machine. Don't be that person.
Yeah.
And don't be like us. We were probably already a few hotels away when the person in our group realized that her phone was missing. Wasn't our wives,
No.
but realized that a phone was missing, and we had to
Walk all the way back.
all the way back. And, one thing about when you're looking at Vegas, when you see that resort, like if you're standing at New York, and you see Excalibur, you're going to think, well, it's right across the street. That is very deceiving.
Yes.
Vegas has bridges, multiple stairs. That thing is not as close as it would appear. So just a pre-warning there. And then if you lose your stuff, kiss it goodbye.
Gone.
It's
Yeah,
gone.
It's gone.
But it also rained at that same time. So,
It was nice to go back inside, but definitely.
but running through the rain to get back to the phone was not
that was
fun.
Not fun. Not worth. Well, just make sure everything is with you
Yeah.
at all times. Your party as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And that actually was during your Panda Express,
Yes.
which ruined your Panda Express experience.
Because the person that was with us had a different mission in hand. So
She was on a different level. She was experiencing Vegas.
for what it really is.
Yeah, for what you get.
what you see in the movies.
Ada and I were just talking about traveling husbands, getting our whole thing started when we went to Vegas, and just seeing the resort and letting Aiden experience Vegas for the first time and figuring out what comps we could get. This person in our group, she was there to really experience Vegas, and you know the exact person I'm talking about. So I'm not gonna out this person, but if you've been to Vegas or this is your first time going, you know who the partier is in the room. So
Yes.
or just be aware of that. and understand that most of these people are adults and they need to make their own decisions. And you are not ultimately responsible. Well, you are kind of responsible for them, but
Well, you want to be responsible altogether, but
Vegas has a police department.
I think we're all adults and we can all make our own decisions. And I think because we're all friends, that we all care about each other. So
Yeah, and just be smart about it. When you go to Vegas, be smart about what you're doing. Make sure you have friends, people
Let
that
them
are there
know
to
where
look
you're
out.
going, yeah.
Yes, let them know where you're going. Look out for each other. Don't go home with a stranger. There are criminals in Vegas. They don't stop.
Yeah.
So, just when you get to the Nevada border, they don't criminals are still
they
there.
don't care.
So, Aiden, this is our first podcast, and that kind of wraps it up about Luxar. And so, 0 to 10, real quick, what do you give Luxar?
Like stay experience and all that included, I would probably give it a solid 8, maybe.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think
give it an 8.
I'm thinking 8 as well. So, Aiden, this is our first podcast. What do you think about? First off, how's your first podcast experience? I know we've been trying to record this thing multiple times.
Rough in the beginning.
Rough in the beginning.
We had a good. We actually recorded a different one. Something happened with our phone here, and it cleared it away. We had good content. It was great. We had a lot of 20 minutes at least.
Yeah. So
All
if it
gone.
seems like we're a little rushed on Vegas this time around, it's because we've just been talking about it multiple times tonight. But so here's the plan for us going forward. Thank you for listening to our podcast. We will have one. We're more vloggers. We're vloggers by trade. That's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to vlog. But we will have podcasts. We're going to continue this journey series. We have gone all over the country. We've gone everywhere in the state of Wisconsin. Mostly to Florida, visiting Disney and Universal. That's how Aiden and I had this whole idea. Our wives are huge Orlando people, Disney, Universal Studios, and we said, well, let's come together and
Experience it.
yeah, maybe we can find a way to fund these trips that we keep paying for. So that's where Traveling Husbands was kind of born out of that.
Right.
And so that's our whole goal with not only our vlogs is to show you guys what we do week in and week out with the wives, but our traveling side of things. We're Traveling Husbands, and we thought, well, what an easy way to reach our audience by having a podcast and calling it the Journey Series. So this is episode 1 of just talking about Luxar and Vegas, and we will have an episode probably every couple of weeks.
Try to at least.
Well, we'll try to. We can't definitely can't commit to that.
With the baby coming, it's gonna get a
With
little
the baby
harder,
coming, yeah, with the baby coming. If you follow us on YouTube, like I said, you know my wife's pregnant, so
which means I'm pretty much the dad also.
you're pretty much in this thing, yeah. And I do a lot outside of this with volunteering in the Madison area. We're from Madison, Wisconsin, so through coaching and all sorts of things, I'm a pretty busy guy, but it's kind of calming down a little bit right now. So getting into the off season, so hopefully we'll have more vlogs and more podcasts coming up. And just follow us on social media, and we'll let you know when we have a podcast coming up. I think we definitely will cover Disney. We'll definitely cover Universal Studios. Aiden and I have tons of experience around that. Just to kind of give you guys some help if you're planning a trip to any of these areas. And hopefully maybe right now, if you're in the process of wanting to book a trip to Vegas, maybe we just helped you out a little bit. We're not super detailed, obviously, but maybe just with a little bit of information here, you can take this podcast and go home, and when you're planning your trip, you can use some tips and tricks that we gave you. So, but we will be back every couple of weeks with a podcast. We're calling it the Journey Series. Thanks for joining us. And Aiden, we're almost up to 25 minutes.
Yes.
We wanted to go to a half hour, so we're almost there. Anything you want to wrap up with?
Thank you guys for listening for sure. We're definitely new at this, so different stuff that we want to do. Like you said, vlogging, and then this podcasting, and I think it's gonna work out in the long run. We just got to give it a little try and run. And
wait, where can people find us?
People can find us on YouTube, Traveling Husbands with a Z.
With a Z, we're not the S's. We know there's a Traveling Husbands out there. We are not them. We are Traveling Husbands with a Z.
Yes.
The Traveling Husbands with the wives.
Yes, nothing wrong with them.
No.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But, we just call it, it just became because I think it just started as a joke, and then
It really did,
And then
yeah.
it just kind of stuck to it. But you can also find us on Facebook. We have a fan page that we created, but for our fans out there,
Yeah,
our 16 followers, I don't know what we have.
We're on Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram.
Big easiest thing to follow, really truly, is probably all of them, but more closely is Instagram. It's when we upload videos on Mondays, which that is the plan.
Yes.
You will see them on Mondays, and the podcast will also let you know on Instagram. Just remember, the podcast and the vlogging is going to be different. You will see a vlog every week from us. You'll see a podcast every few weeks. And again, we're calling this one the Journey Series.
Yep. So thank you guys for listening, and
thank you guys so much. And for Drew
and Aiden,
we'll catch you guys in our next one. And thanks for joining us. And we'll see you out there.
Yeah.